Hey guys, welcome back to another video today. So today's driver Joe passed at Chingford Driving Test Centre with a clean sheet. No mistakes made at all during the driving test. I will be doing a voiceover of today's driving test route in which where learners make mistakes on this typical test route and ways in which we can obviously avoid these faults. For those of you that are interested in having a driving mock test or a lesson just to ensure that you are at a test standard in a safe and supportive environment, please do feel free to contact me. And guys, thank you for the continued support, and please do make sure to like, share and subscribe, and I will be posting videos, as I've mentioned before, on a weekly basis. So guys, the examiner instructed Joe to turn left at the end of the road. Be aware guys that there is an overground station ahead where cars do turn out of, so it is important to show excellent observation here. For those of you that are watching, what would the correct observation be here? Would you just look right, left, right, or would you look at the road ahead as well? The examiner then instructed Joe to turn right into the driving test centre car park. Now guys, if there is a pupil already performing a reverse bay park, when you enter the driving test centre car park, as you pass these yellow bars, the nose of your car, what I would advise you to do is stop. And then Joe lined up his car correctly. I will be carrying out a tutorial video of how to execute the reverse bay park in the Chingford Driving Test Centre car park with one of my pupils in the near future. But as you can see, shortly Joe did perform the reverse bay park in the manual car with excellent control and showcased excellent observation as well. As you know guys, that's what the examiner marks you against when reversing: observations and control. And he got the manoeuvre in on the first attempt. Guys, just bear in mind that if you don't get the maneuver in on the first attempt, you can always rectify it, okay? So always remember that and don't add that unnecessary pressure onto yourself. Joe then completed the maneuver where the examiner did ask the pupil, "Are you happy with the maneuver?" Joe then checked and he was very happy with the maneuver. After that, the examiner then instructed the pupil to turn right as they exit the car park. However, the examiner did advise the candidate to wait at this point as there was another individual performing a reverse bay park. Generally speaking, guys, if the examiner advises you to do something, don't go against their advice. They're generally giving you some sort of prompt there or helping you out. So it is advisable to listen to their advice, guys. So the examiner then instructed the pupil to turn right outside the test centre car park. As you can see, Joe was exiting the car park very slowly as there were pedestrians crossing, and the pedestrian did gesture the Joe, thank you. So it is important, guys, that you are aware of any pedestrians as you're exiting the car park. Do make sure that you wait for them. After that, Joe then obviously ensured that it was safe to obviously exit the car park before proceeding. It is very blinded on the right, guys, so do be extremely careful there. Then after that, the examiners instructed Joe to immediately turn right. Obviously here, guys, you need to make sure that you enter the hatch marking when turning right, and that you need to make sure you position in such a way that you allow following traffic behind you to obviously continue to go ahead so you don't affect them. As you can see, guys, it was extremely busy on Bursford Road, and there were parked cars on both sides of the road, so you need to drive to the appropriate speed of the road as it is slightly narrow, and you need to really plan well ahead on this road as there tends to be loads of meet situations. It depends obviously on the time of day in which you take your test as well. And as you can see as well, guys, the road starts to bend to the right as well. The examiner then instructed the pupil to turn left onto Kimberley Road. And guys, what is the criteria we're assessed against when turning left and right at junctions? So it's really important that you know all the criteria you're assessed against. For instance, when you're moving away, you're assessed against the POM routine. When pulling over on the left, it's the MSM routine. What's the routine that you are assessed against when you're approaching at a T junction to turn left? As you can see, there was a meet situation developing where the oncoming road user was in the center of the road. So Joe obviously read their body language really well and came in for the meet situation and then checked their mirrors to push back out. So guys, just bear in mind that when the obstruction is to both sides of the road, neither one of you have priority. So you need to read the body language of other road users in meet situations and act accordingly. The examiner then instructed the pupil to turn right at the end of the road. And guys, just bear in mind, this is slightly an open junction. It tends to have good visibility here, but you need to be wary of pedestrians waiting to cross at junctions. The examiner then instructed the pupil to pull over on the left in a safe place, and then after that they then instructed the pupil to turn left at the roundabout. Now guys, at the following roundabout, it is a mini roundabout. How can you distinguish the difference between a mini roundabout and a major roundabout? And also, is this mini roundabout coming up, is it a T-junction mini or a crossroad mini? So as Joe turned left onto Friday Hill, the speed change is still 20 miles per hour. At the time of the test, there were no road markings to symbolise it was 20 miles per hour. However, now there are all 20 road markings on the floor on Friday Hill. And then the examiner instructed the pupil to turn right at the roundabout and take the second exit. Guys, be wary of any pedestrians crossing at the zebra crossing on approach to this roundabout. And remember, as it's not a non-light controlled roundabout, do make sure that you do approach it with caution and assess if it is safe to join the roundabout. And then again at the roundabout, the examiner instructed the pupil to take the third exit to their right. As it's on a slight incline gradient here, guys, for those of you that are learning in a manual car, as Joe did, it is advisable to approach this in gear 1 this roundabout. It is dependent on the car. My car tends to lose a bit of power once you take second gear below 7 miles per hour. It tends to struggle. So a car needs more power when going uphill. But that is dependent on the car you learn. So that's something obviously I would advise you to check with your instructor.